Enda O'Coineen is an entrepreneur who has built up a multi-million euro business portfolio in Eastern Europe. But Enda is about to leave all that behind. He will return to his native Galway under the pretense of presenting a television programme called Life in the West.
Can we come in, Dudley? Sure, yeah.
But he will be secretly searching for people that he thinks he might be able to help. By the end of his stay, Enda will give away tens of thousands of euro of his own money and then reveal himself as the secret millionaire.
You can't be buried with your assets or resources. We'll be judged by what we put back in.
Enda O'Coineen is an entrepreneur based in the Czech Republic. His company, Kilcullen Capital, is a hugely successful investment management firm. But the business grew from modest beginnings.
I started my own business in the 80s, and it was tough. You know, it was pretty depressed, Ireland. We had, at one stage, 19% unemployment. You were considered very successful if you paid your bills. And at that time, the whole of Eastern Europe was opening up. The communists had just left, the wall had come down, and Czech and Poland, they were buzzing at the time. So I just got on a plane and came out. I'd come out on a Monday and rented an office, and I actually would sleep in the office. So when they left in the evening, I was there. When they came in the morning, I was there. That business had to work, because at that stage I had a young family and I was living on the edge. But it was a massive adventure.
This thirst for adventure and a stubborn, independent streak spurred Enda on.
I've always been a self-starter. I've always been unemployable, actually. I never give myself a job. So, you know, coming from the west of Ireland, I was very independent-minded. If somebody said to me black was white, I'd set out to prove that white was really black.
In the early years, Enda and his small team established many businesses in different sectors, including publishing and insurance. But the turning point came when he decided to invest in telecommunications in Eastern Europe just before deregulation.
1996-97, we started a small telephone company. Very modest investment. It was $250,000, and 4 years later, it was sold at a valuation of $35 million. Up to then, you were sort of what they would say in Galway, a chancellor. And then when you made a few bob, you became an entrepreneur. And then, of course, you make a bit of money, you become, I used to think it was stamp collecting, you become a philanthropist.
Working on a voluntary basis for 5 years, Enda helped bring the Volvo Ocean Race to Galway, which was a huge boost to the country. It also ties him to his other great passion, the sea.
When I was 21 going on 22, I left from Boston for Ireland in a 15.5-foot inflatable dinghy. It was an extraordinary adventure, single-handed, going across the Atlantic. I actually learned a lot from that. The biggest thing was it's a lot smarter to fly.
Enda is involved with a charity called the Pride of Ireland Trust, whose aim is to give young people of all backgrounds the chance to discover their true potential through the experience of sail training.
I'm passionate about the ocean. I'm passionate about the reserve of the ocean. Only 2% of the wealth of the ocean is used. If I can achieve anything by this program, it's to connect young people with the ocean and with adventure. I do hate that millionaire tag, you know, because I think if you have resource, it should be discreet. I don't like flaunting. I don't spend much on myself. So I am a bit worried about that. I'm a bit worried about that tag. But I think the risk is worth taking in terms of what we might achieve by focusing on some real issues. It should be an adventure, and hopefully we might achieve something worthwhile in the process. And you just have to give it a lash and go for it.
Enda is about to embark on a life-changing challenge. Travelling around Galway under the pretense of presenting a documentary called Life in the West, he will search for people who might need help.
It's lovely to come back. If you grow up in a place, I mean, your childhood memories are the ones to treasure. It casts back memories here when I was a child, when I was expelled from school. I used to hang out here, so really bizarre to come back in the way that I've arrived back today.
And Enda is not the first of the Rabbit family to return to this city with his fortune made.
My great-great-grandfather emigrated, left East Galway and ended up in California in the gold rush, and he'd found gold. He came back from the States and set up the pub here. I saw the original deeds of the property. My great-great-grandfather, he couldn't read nor write, so it was a big X quite emotive because roots are deep, and of course everything is long moved on now.
Enda wants to know what support systems are in place for the youth of Galway. He's heard of Foróige, one of the largest youth development organisations in Ireland, so he heads to their local drop-in centre, the Youth Café, to find out more.
I need sleep, but I'm nearly always awake. I'm writing most of the day, the rest of it's just a waste. Sometimes I lie and think about life. What I do before I die, am I really living right?
Hello, how are you doing?
You're working here?
I do, yeah. Hello,
What's your
how are you
name?
doing? Jen is my name, yeah.
Jen, I'd be interested to learn a bit about youth services in Galway. I'm particularly interested in youth activities that involve getting young people involved in sport, physical, outdoor activities.
Yeah. We've got a great centre out in Ballyban. Andy and Martin would mainly work out there.
Yeah.
Foróige staff members, but we also have brilliant volunteers out there as well, helping out.
That was a rough area of town, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
And
there's a lot of good community work being done out there, and a real
it's kind of city.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised, like, there could be a feud one day and the next day you'd gone out kayaking with your next door neighbour and raced him, and Martin and Andy will give you a run for your money. Yeah,
really?
They're brilliant. Go out biking for the day.
Really?
Yeah.
Ballyban on the east side of Galway city was once home to settlements of travellers spread across large halting sites. It had a tough reputation. Today, Ballyban looks vastly different. It is much improved, but is still one of the most disadvantaged areas of the city and suffers from large-scale unemployment and a reputation for antisocial behaviour. Enda has arranged to meet Martin McDonough, a part-time youth worker and member of the travelling community who has lived here all his life.
When you were growing up, you know, what social issues did you encounter?
Drink would have been a big issue in our community, in the travelling community. To compare to now, there's so much drugs involved. We try to keep kids away from and guide them away from that, going down that path. Because unfortunately, this area there's a big drug problem. I meet kids at 13 and 14 and they're high.
Andy Byrne runs the East Side Youth Project, largely based in the local community hall in Ballyban. In the last 3 years, Andy's funding has been cut by 40%. Providing activities for over 150 children from the area has become even harder on his reduced budget.
This is our main hub of activity where we do kind of crafts and sports areas. And then the kids come up with ideas that they want to do. So there's different projects such as a bike project, a gardening project.
Okay.
We've done workshops then on anti-bullying and racism and stuff like that.
So you kind of, through the schools, reach out, is that correct, to the kids that may be about to go off, leave school, or how does it work?
Young people are at risk of falling out of school. A lot of absenteeism or it's causing difficulties, or if there's issues there, you'd know the kids and you'd be engaged with them. So you might try and encourage them to continue their education and work with the school in that regard. Through a reward system, that if they engage all week long, that they get out on an activity at the weekend.
Money-wise, it's tight.
Yeah.
It's tight. And our budget has been cut a lot. And the demand for our services is bigger.
Yeah.
But we're getting smaller budgets.
Yeah.
And we do the best we can with what we have. But you're never going to get all the kids. You know, you're never going to help everyone. It's not possible. But you do the best with what you can.
If you can send some young people in the right direction that might be gone in the wrong direction, you're changing people's lives, and that's a very high calling. And I was really, really impressed by the work they're doing. I'd like to learn a little bit more.
The next day, Enda travels to Russaville in Connemara to catch the morning ferry to the Aran Islands. The largest of the Aran Islands, Inishmore, is home to over 800 people. Like any other isolated rural community, it faces its own challenges.
When you go out to a place like Aran, it's like a distilled microcosm of the entire island of Ireland. It has all of those magic components that go into making up what we call society. I also think in the islands there's a deep sense of community and looking out for each other. And I think if we can do that as a community in a bigger sense, we can learn from that.
On his arrival to Inishmore, Enda spots a poster advertising a fundraiser for a local charity called Smiles for Shauna. The charity was set up by Anne Fitzpatrick and her husband Pat after their 16-year-old daughter Shauna died of cancer 2 years ago. The money the charity raises is going towards helping teenagers living with cancer.
Shauna sadly passed away the 19th of November 2011 from malignant melanoma, skin cancer.
Yeah.
And she was diagnosed when she was 13. She woke one morning with a lump in her neck, and initially they told me it was no harm, and then after a number of months it was started to pain her, and when we went and had it tested, it was melanoma.
She was only 13.
She was 13, yeah. And then after a year and a half of treatment, thank God she got the all clear, that there was nothing. And then August weekend, she said she had an awful cramp in her leg. And that kind of passed, and then she called me about 10 days later and she said, Mom, I have an awful pain in my groin and it's very sore. It was literally everywhere in her, wow. Even in the brain.
Even when she was told she had that the cancer was back and that it was all over her, she just laughed and said, well...
She just started laughing. Yeah. And Pat got kind of upset and he said, do you not hear what he's saying to you? Yeah. And she said, yeah, but what can I do about it?
Yeah.
You know, that's how she dealt with it. Like, you know, what can I do about it?
You can turn your back on tomorrow and live yesterday, or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You can remember her and only that she is gone, or you can cherish Shauna's memory and let it live on. You can cry and close your mind, be empty and turn your back, or you can do what Shauna would want, smile, open your eyes, love, and go on. That's lovely. That's really nice. 3 lovely daughters. They're fantastic, and I perish the thought of anything happening to them. You know, we all cope in our own different ways. I've had a lot of adversity thrown at me, and I've survived that. But a situation like that, I just don't know. I'd never really want to encounter it. Perhaps you could tell me a little bit about how this whole Smiles for Shauna came about.
Shauna loved smileys. They were her favourite things. And she was a smiler. She was, you know, she always had a smile on her face, you know, through everything. And we decided, why don't we make a charity in her name? Because she had such an influence on so many people.
It's exactly as she left it, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Must make you very sad, though, to come in here.
I get very angry at times.
Yeah.
Why, you know, she had so much to give. Why was she taken so early, you know? Yeah. Every night, both myself and Pat come in and sit in the room for a while before we go to bed to still say goodnight to her.
Wow.
Yeah. Kind of the routine is kind of, we give this picture a kiss.
Okay.
And then, you know, we know then at this picture that she's kind of saying, well, what are ye at? You know, there's that eye, like, you know. We feel she's here when we're here. Even the trauma of losing Shauna, like, for her friends has just been... Traumatic, yeah. But they're helping us and hopefully we're helping them, you know.
Something back in.
Yeah.
It touched a nerve, it touched a raw nerve there, and you sort of felt... It was very, very sad, and it was very, very moving. But, you know, a teenager shouldn't die, you know. It's old people who die. I'm very moved by that, and I'd really like to learn more about what's happening, so I think we'll stay close to this one.
Businessman Enda O'Coineen has returned to his native Galway in order to search for people whom he might be able to help. After spending a night on Inishmore, Enda goes for an early morning stroll and comes across a group of young islanders who are preparing their boats to go sailing.
It's a great thing to have, really, because clubs like this, they're just starting off. They don't have a lot of money. They don't have their own boats, so they hired these boats out from the ISA. So they're topaz sailing dinghies. See what it's like, see the interest, and just kind of get it off its feet, you know. So.
As a result of the decline of the fishing industry, a dependence on tourism and high levels of immigration, traditional maritime skills are being lost. In an effort to reconnect the next generation of young islanders with the sea, a sail training initiative has been established on Inishmore. School principal Micheál O'Coineen heads a committee responsible for this new enterprise.
Sailing had died out here, I suppose, a generation ago at least. My grandfather's people were sailing boats and fishing and sailing boats, so it has died out.
I suppose it's to get them away from the PlayStations, to get them out experiencing the environment and the elements. So it's much deeper than just a club or sailing. It's really about getting into the environment, getting them out there, and that's really what I admire about what you're doing here.
We had 26 interested this year, and I think we could double that easily for our next course. Yeah, there's such an interest. We intend building on it, and hopefully they'll be running a summer course here for tourists, and hopefully it will become a summer job for them.
For me, it's quite emotive because I was troublesome as a kid, and I went away on boats, and it opened up the world.
Hopefully now from this group we'll be getting postcards from Africa in about 10 years' time that they've dropped off on their way.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, thank you. And the other side. That's it, Mark. You're doing great. 2/3 of the world is covered by ocean. We have 3,000 miles of coastline. It really opens up a window of the world, and particularly if you live on an island. And, you know, here we're on an island, off an island, and it's even more real and more important. It will give them a taste of sailing, but more than that, it will show them what's out there in terms of harvesting the wealth from the ocean here. Yes. And this is another way to do it.
It is, yeah.
So what do you think, Mark?
Yes.
You take to this? Yeah. It's a nice sensation, isn't it? The natural sound of the water and harnessing the wind, which is free. I really like and admire what's been done, and it's not just the leisure component, it's interpersonal skills, it's environment, it's jobs, it's employment, it's enterprise, it's travel, it's all of those marvellous things. And this hopefully could be the start of something really interesting on the island.
Having heard about the Smiles for Shauna charity, Enda has arranged to meet Shauna's former teacher, Moira Reid, at the island's secondary school to find out more about how her death affected her classmates and friends.
When Shauna was diagnosed, it was something that hit all the students and the teachers in the school. And a small school like this with a small population, I suppose we kind of have a different relationship maybe kind of with our students. It's almost kind of like a family. So it was difficult. I think there was a lot of anger, a lot of disbelief, and the students again and the teachers. We couldn't kind of really, I suppose, get our heads around that this was actually happening, that this was happening to one of our own.
There seemed to be a magic around this girl.
She was unique. I mean, she was just a character, and she was just one of these kids. She was just so cool and easy breezy, and she was just friends with everybody.
4 of Shauna's school friends have been integral to the charity and keeping her spirit alive.
Oh, they put the champagne glass back on. I was always partial to the pink champagne. Shauna loved any champagne. Yes.
Chatting with Anne, and she had said how close you all were, so I thought it'd be nice to come and meet and find a little bit more. Do you not find it sad coming here?
Not at all, no. I've always found it just, I mean, it's somewhere we can go and no one's going to disturb us and say, you can't
feel close to her there as well?
Yeah.
I do.
Mm.
And what sort of things do you talk about when you visit her?
Everything.
Big
gossip. Plenty of gossip. And just,
the smile, where does that come from? And the butterflies, and Champagne, I saw champagne.
It all sums up her personality, I suppose, like champagne is bubbly, so...
She was very bubbly.
No, yeah, the smiley faces, it just kind of epitomises her and her optimism and everything like that, and it just became a big thing around when she passed away, and everyone painted their nail, like, smiley face.
That your nail there.
Yeah, I mean, everyone from the men to the women to the brothers and the sisters and the dads, and everyone had
You're
them.
all got these armbands.
Yeah, and they have the smiley faces on them as well.
And the connection with Anne and her family, has that grown deeper?
Yeah, very much so, yeah. It's been, like, amazing to have them. Helped a lot for all of us, like, definitely. Yeah. Well, the sun is out at least. Look over there. Look at the nice side of it. But it'll be just a quick shower, hopefully. Help us out here, Shauna.
I never expected to be, talking with teenagers like that. And it's extraordinary intimacy, to hear them chatting and talking as if she were in the room. I think that's extraordinary. So it actually shows there's some greater power there above and beyond us as mere mortals. It captures the embodiment of the spirit of this girl, the positive disposition and the way it's identified this gap in the need for care and in understanding for teenagers with cancer. So that really is worth supporting, and it just really certainly fires my imagination.
Enda is heading back to the mainland. Moved by the resilience of the young people that he's met, he now turns his attention to the elderly. Rural Galway is home to almost 70% of the county's elderly population, and isolation and access to services is an ongoing problem. To learn more about how the community is responding to these problems, Enda visits Aran Islands Day Centre, which provides a wide range of services for the elderly here and in the community. Enda has arranged to meet the centre's manager, Peggy Ichedi, to find out more about what they do.
Hi, Peggy.
Hello, Enda.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, the false road. It's Armenia.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it. I've just come in, I was out in Ishmore.
Oh, you're just in time for the tea, first of all, if you'd like to have a cup of tea. Johnny.
Cable to Johnny. Enda O'Coineen. Cable to.
Aran was founded in the early 90s. First of all, to address housing need for older people, and also to promote independent living for older people in the Connemara region. Yeah.
It didn't exist at that point?
No, not at that time. And you have to think, at the time, people were returning home from England and places that they went to maybe in the 40s, 50s and 60s, They didn't have a home to go to, maybe. And at the time, the county council wouldn't build unless you had your own site. And most of these people didn't have their own sites.
You come in here every day, or?
Well, 3 days a week.
3 days a week, yeah. And where are you actually living?
In Carnaroon.
Carnaroon. Do you mind me being personal?
Not at all.
How old are you?
I'm 96.
96? Wow.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to ask a lady her age when you...
It's the 2nd of May. So I'm going on to my 97th.
97th, yeah. So I'd say when you get the 100, that'll be some party.
At the minute, we provide, let's say, activities like meditation and the arts and crafts. We have the gym three days a week, and again, we cater for people from the ages of 50 years onwards.
Yeah. So you have to be over 50 to go to the gym?
Yes, yes, you do, I'm afraid.
Aran Islands' latest project is the development of a community garden. It is being built out of their own resources to provide an outdoor activity for the elderly and act as a meeting place for young and old.
We're going to have raised beds so that the tenants here will be able to use them, more comfortably. Yeah. And also, this is going to be a project actually that's open to the primary schools.
Oh, to the schools?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, see, how does that work?
Well, what we're going to, hopefully now that we're hoping that there'll be integration there between the kids.
Yeah, so you'll have the kids from the school
and
come in here with the older people.
Yeah.
Brilliant concept.
It is actually now. We're looking forward to it actually now. Once it's up and running,
Takes time.
It takes time.
What really touched me was her new idea for the garden. I think I didn't expect this because it's thinking outside of the box. We get compartmentalised. Aran Islands' focus is to look after older people, and youth groups are to look after youth groups. But the fact of interacting them together, and I think when younger people are working alongside older people, you'll build a natural respect, and there'll be a knowledge there that'll impart, be it the conversation, the chat, that connectivity. And it's actually by doing, not theoretical. This is real, this is doing, this is real living, and it's the essence of life itself.
Ballyban youth workers Martin and Andy started a bike workshop in 2012 as a way of curbing bike crime. Today, Enda has been invited along to meet some of the local kids who are learning about bike maintenance and repair.
Andy, nice to see you again.
Oh, how are you? How's things? Are you well? Good to see you.
Brilliant. I didn't realise there'd be such a gang here. It's brilliant.
A lot of them they put their bikes under a lot of pressure, so
yeah.
This young man now, he's...
What's your name?
My name is Gabriel.
Gabriel, how you doing? Nice to see you. What are you doing there?
I'm just fitting back my wheel here. I was repairing the tube.
That's your bike, is it?
Yeah.
That's his own bike,
okay, yeah. How did you get involved here?
I like bikes. I do like stunts on bikes. I have a dirt jump bike.
Really? So we'll see you doing some jumping later?
Well, yeah.
How old are you?
16. 16. Oh, I'm 17 this month.
17 this month. Maybe you need a link or something, is it?
No, because that won't fit through it.
Sorry?
That won't fit through. It's too big to fit through
so you need a smaller
one.
link. This is great. I haven't fixed a bike for years.
Well, I've never fixed a bike before in my life.
Do you have any idea what you'll do when you finish school?
I'm hoping to get a job with Bernard in Halford.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. Yeah. So do you have big plans for this bike?
Gonna ask Bernard if he buy it, but...
Yeah. I think if you sanded it and cleaned it up and
yeah, but it's gonna take a long time, like.
Yeah. Sure, your summer holidays, what else would you be doing?
Fix bikes.
You'd be making money.
Yeah.
I was really impressed by Alex, Gabriel and the girls. They show a lot of potential, and who knows, given the right opportunity, what they might achieve. You fixed your first puncture.
After a morning spent fixing and mending, the kids from the workshop get the chance to put their bikes to the test in Moycullen, half an hour northwest of Galway City.
Wow, guys, this is brilliant.
They engage with it fantastically. To get out into the country, they're stuck in the city there, so it's a whole new environment. They're getting to make new friends. They're getting to learn new skills. They're increasing their fitness level. They're not just getting out cycling, they're learning about the bikes, about technical aspects of bikes. So it could lead to careers and jobs further down the line.
The more you challenge young people, the more you push them out there, the more of a chance they won't get into drugs or they won't get into trouble, if you like. So it's kicked a lot of ideas in my own mind, and I'm sort of churning that over. As I would really like to do something for this group that can be hopefully a meaningful contribution.
Right now, if this wasn't here, I don't know what else I would be. I'd probably be at home playing video games or something.
Yeah.
Because I think this club has got me more into the bikes than I already was. Yeah, when I'm doing this, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Half of all over 65-year-olds live in rural areas in Ireland, with 1 in 5 elderly men living on their own. Cutbacks in rural services have made it increasingly difficult for older people to connect with friends and neighbours, contributing to a growing sense of rural isolation. Today, Enda has joined Kathleen on her Meals on Wheels run, a new service started by Terminana that reaches out to those living in the wider community.
Are there a lot of old people living on their own around here, Kathleen?
Oh yeah, there's way too many.
Yeah.
Really, if I'm to be honest with you, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people wouldn't have got married.
Yeah.
You know, and as well, or some of them, their husband has died or their wives have died and they're left, you know,
on their own. Yeah.
On their own, then, like, so I might be the only person, or maybe the postman, you know.
Yeah.
The only person they'll see that day.
Yeah.
You know, again, if they watch the TV, they'll see all this stuff on it, and then they'll get fearful, you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, please God, in a couple of years there'll be more vans running around so we can cover different areas, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves a hot meal, you know.
So this is Dudley here.
Yeah, this is Dudley here.
There he is, watching out for us.
Oh,
Here you are there. Can we come in, Dudley? Can we come in?
Sure.
Sure, yeah. Got the mass to Fee Colleen show.
Colleen, yeah.
My
darling.
Darling.
Never mind me, it's the dinner. It's the dinner, lovely.
It's a great dinner, and it's great that it's hot, you know?
Yeah.
It's great that it's hot. The smell is good. It smells very good. And there's dessert. You have to hold back and have that later.
All right,
you know?
God bless you.
Yeah. Cadfain Bodge Shin. Ken Bodge Shin.
I think it's just the American Moor.
American Moor. Another American Moor.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at Dudley, Cormila Margaret. Sloan and Ish. Sloan, Margaret.
Happy weekend.
Happy weekend, is right.
Happy weekend.
Agus
One solution to living alone is supported accommodation. Termanena provides a safe home to over 30 people, many of whom are returned immigrants. Enda is visiting John McIntyre, who came back from England to look after his father.
You're from Spiddle originally?
I am from outside Spiddle village, about half a mile on the Galway side of Spiddle village. I was born in the early 40s. And like every other young person around here, when I left school, I had to head for the white boat, as they called it, the Bodbone, in the early 60s. I was working in the Midlands first on the sugar beet. It was every young fella's dream to go on the beet because the money was good.
Yeah.
But then it was spent foolish, of course.
How did you spend it?
Every way and anyway.
Is that you can tell me about now?
Well, most of us on the drink, and I headed off then when that was finished down to London. And I worked in the building sites.
Yeah, yeah. You never got married or anything like that?
No, no one had had me, so...
Yeah, yeah. But you really came back to look after your elderly father?
I did. I came back to look after my father.
Yeah. Tell me about how you came to be here then. You applied and...
I applied and I was informed that there was a vacancy here.
Yeah. You're totally independent.
I am totally independent. I have my little friend here.
Yeah. What's that? It's an emergency.
It's an emergency. If I press the right button,
how does it work?
There's a little box there on the wall, and he'll speak to me to see if I want an ambulance or whatever I want. Yeah. It's done straight away. You know, I know there's people out there a lot worse off than what I am.
Yeah.
And living in isolated areas. Like,
yeah.
You know, and they'd probably all they have is the phone on the wall.
There's a drop around there. There is definitely. If we're to refocus society and invest in young people, one of the things we need to invest is this concept of respect for older people. And I never really thought about it in that way before, and talking with John sort of really brought that home to me.
Businessman Enda O'Coineen has been back in his native Galway for over a week. In a few days, he will have to decide whom he is going to help by donating tens of thousands of euro of his own money. This morning, Enda has arranged for 4 members of the Ballyban youth group and their youth leader, Martin, to meet him at the local airport for a surprise trip.
They're just on their way. It's a total surprise. They've no idea where they're going. They've been guessing, they've been chatting, they've been talking about it.
Going on the plane? What? I've never been.
First step in the surprise is they're arriving at an airplane and they've no idea what they're going to do when they get off the airplane. Yeah, hi guys.
Hi.
Hiya. Hiya. Brilliant. Do you have any idea where you're going?
No, no.
We have a very interesting day lined up. The whole idea is that you'll see something you may not have experienced
So where are we going?
before. I can't tell you. It's still top secret. This is your first time on a plane, yeah?
Yeah.
And what do you expect?
The plane to fall. Yeah.
To see the expression on their faces, 3 of the before, had never flown before. Certainly delving back to my own childhood, if I was exposed to something different, particularly when I travelled, it really opened up new horizons. And if this achieves something, it's the feeling of actually doing, which is totally different to what you're ever going to get online. Now we've landed on Inishmore. We're now to go to the next stage of the master plan. We're going on now down to a rib, which is a powerboat. And we're going to go on the powerboat to go someplace else.
Are we going to be able to go back to Foróige on the bus anymore, no? You said this bus is not good enough.
No.
Get us a plane.
Just put it on over there. Yeah, I get it good and tight.
You need to loosen this one.
Outdoor pursuits, sports, activities such as we're doing today are much, much bigger than just the recreational component. If we take young people out on the ocean, if we give them a taste of adventure, it's that whole broader experience, and it develops a skill set that can set them up for life. That's the American Moor. She's a very famous Galway hooker. The Galway hookers are the traditional sailing craft of the west of Ireland. For me, it's a big thrill, and I hope I can share that with you, to actually go sailing on the American Moor. But you're not just going on the boat. I'm going to give you some instructions as to how to sail it. That's it. That's it. Keep pulling. Hey! Hey! From a young age, I went away on boats to sea, and I'm pretty sure that shaped my life. It opened up new horizons, new perspectives, and now it's very nice to be able to put something back in at the other end. The wind is coming from up there, okay? So we cannot sail straight up there. So what we're going to do is we're going to tack up, zigzag up, okay? Okay, tack in. Watch your heads now. The sail is catching the wind, and it's like the shape of an aeroplane wing. See the shape of the sail?
Yeah.
You get an aerodynamic lift. So you get the slot between the two sails. Can you see that?
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
Yeah, peace.
They're good kids, like, they pick up things really quickly once they show them what to do. Especially Alex there. Alex is hands-on. Alex is involved in our bikeman's shed. His brain is thinking all the time. It's just to push that little bit further and give them a bigger options.
But if you pick a spot and head for there, it can make your life a lot easier. You have picked a spot now? You have, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, you just head for that.
They're getting a surprise today. They've done something that they've never done before. They've got on a big speedboat, they've done the plane, now they're on this boat. It's important that they, in a sense, behave. Because we'd have a lot of them issues in Ballyban, behaviour at 10, where we're getting kids in that's, I suppose, that's rough and ready and streetwise. And it's like anything in life. A little bit of respect goes a long way. And these kids has respect.
But you might stand rather than sit. Like that, yeah.
That's it.
Like a man. Children get caught between a rock and a hard place, and it's sometimes that vulnerable period, and that's why the work of Martin and Andy, who we've met, that's where that creates a very, very valuable contribution. Can you see Spittle in there?
Today was great. I didn't think it was going to be moving at all, because, you know, it's just the wind and there's no engines and all. But it's actually fun.
Remember what he said, it's important you move all the way again, yeah? I'm 14 years at it. I joined it because I loved it. Doing it because I love being around kids and seeing kids achieving something. It's not like work. It's not like coming into work. They'll remember this. And probably they'll be asking me to do this next year with a small budget.
While Martin and the others from Ballyban fly back to the mainland, Enda has joined members of the island community to help the Fitzpatrick family prepare for their fundraising charity event. All the money raised will go to the new teenage recreation room at Crumlin Children's Hospital. Alwyn Iguel is the director of Smiles for Shona.
What do you expect it will achieve?
Well, I think it's already achieved so much. It's galvanised the community, and it's given everybody that was grieving for Shona, the family in particular, a focus.
Yeah.
And something to do for Shona, to keep her memory going.
So, Peter, you just live across the road there. Your children, presumably, were close in age.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Peter is a year older than her, but they were good pals.
Is Pater a musician?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Was there some song or something?
Yes, he's written a beautiful tribute song to her. My
what's
Hero.
the song called?
My Hero.
My Hero.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
This is hard work. We better get down to business here. And what do you think is the difference between the community here and in the community in the mainland?
It affects everybody here when a tragedy like that happens.
Yeah.
Like, you can feel it. Like,
yeah.
I wrote the song first about maybe 3 or 4 months before Shauna's passing. It was just kind of a way for me to vent, to try and, to figure out what was going on in my own head, kind of thing. So I just, threw that whatever on paper. And then, sadly, when Shauna passed, I changed the words around.
Okay. Had she heard the song?
She hadn't, no.
Before she died, no?
No, she hadn't. And she probably would have slapped me for it.
Really?
She wasn't into all that kind of sentimental stuff.
Really?
Just across the road, I'm not gonna lie, I missed you loads. From your coloured socks to your pajamas.
So Louise, you must be very happy with the evening.
It's bittersweet because Shauna would have loved this. If she was here, she'd just be in the middle of it and enjoying it. But
perhaps you could give me a flavour of where you see the charity going from here.
Crumlin Children's Hospital are building a new unit. When Shauna was sick, there was nowhere for teenagers. You're in with babies, and then of course she wasn't an adult, so there was nowhere for teenagers to hang out and be relaxed and be comfortable. So the primary aim is to create this beautiful recreation room where they can be comfortable and relax.
During her illness, Shauna attended Canteen, an organisation that specifically helps teenagers with cancer. There, she formed a special bond with the other teens, some of whom have maintained strong links with the Fitzpatrick family.
Like, when you're sick, your friends at home don't really understand. Like, they try to, but they don't really understand. Whereas in Canteen, everyone knows what it's like to lose their hair. Everyone knows what it's like to be, sick. Like, they understand it. Like, so it means a lot. Like, and you meet friends like these. And like
you made
Shauna.
a lot of friends through here.
Best friends.
It's been a magic evening.
Yeah.
And it's really great that you took the trouble to come.
The community here is amazing for in itself. Like.
Have you signed up to the armbands?
Oh God,
Now I'll miss you, from the tags on your shoes to your curly hair, but I know you're up there looking down.
He sang the song there this evening. It's so gentle and so...
He picks up every part of her and the friendship they had.
Yeah.
They had an amazing friendship. I've just been blown away by the amount of people that turned up and the support and the way the day turned out, and the atmosphere just is electric, really.
You put on quite a show. That's just how you roll. And I hope you know you are my hero. Are my hero.
Enda has reached the end of his journey. Later today, he'll be revealing his true purpose, but first, he must decide who to help and how best to do so.
Well, I've thrown myself into this unknown world. Twice I had decided not to do it. I found in the end that the idea of doing some good and focusing on people who are doing good things, and particularly some of the things I'm interested in, was really worthwhile. I've actually been privileged to meet a lot of extraordinary people, and there's a common denominator that runs through it all, and that's entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship isn't necessarily about making money, it's about creating change, helping people, making a meaningful contribution to life. So I've related to that in a very strong way.
Enda's first call is to see Anne and Pat Fitzpatrick, two people whose bravery has had a profound effect on him.
You've invited us into your lives, in a sense, and going to the bedroom there and then meeting everybody and seeing her smiles all over the house. But I've something to say to you. We're not making a film about looking into the West. I've been looking around the country for things worthwhile to support. We hit upon, it's not so much the tragedy of Shona, which is awful, it's more what you're doing and the way the community came behind it. So I have something to give to the charity. which I know you'll put to very good use.
Are you for real? Oh, dear God in heaven. I don't know what...
expecting that.
It's all right.
I'm sorry.
Well, with the help of God, somebody will benefit from it. And
I never thought I'd be one of these people that'd get caught with something like this.
Secret Millionaire. Brilliant.
This will help so many teenagers. So many teenagers.
It's the recognition. It's the recognition for her daughter, what she meant, and it's the recognition for the work that the funds will do in filling this gap. I kind of loved it because it's more than just a very worthy cause. It's the embodiment of a spirit and a personality. It's the spirit of someone that will live on as a result, and that's why I was taken by it. And
Should be forever young.
Yeah, it means a lot to me personally, and I'm delighted and honoured to be in your home and to have shared that experience.
She has brought all this to us, like, you know, in a strange way she has, you know, and we find doing this work has helped us and is keeping us driven every day, you know. So this is absolutely amazing, amazing.
Before Enda leaves the island, he's decided to make an unplanned visit to Mícheál Ó Gaoil, founding member of the newly formed Aran Sailing Club.
In a sense, I chanced upon what you're doing here with the sailing club, just happened to be here this week, and I really admire in terms of getting the club going. But I have something to say to you. I came to the island, I wanted to support charity, something really worthwhile, right? So I had a budget, and I wanted to make a significant donation. The bad news is you're getting enough of that budget. It wasn't part of my plan. You know, I'd planned to support one worthwhile project in the island. But the more I think about it, the more I think by supporting this new sailing club, it's to get the young people of the island engaged in the sport, and there's strong commercial potential for that. So I've dug down a bit deeper in my pockets. I'd be delighted and honoured if you would accept a cheque.
I've seen this on television before.
No, it's a false road.
Am I supposed to look at it now? Oh, it's just an incl. Very good. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Raising funds at the moment isn't easy, and that's a wonderful start for us. Yeah.
I know you'll make it work, and I know you'll put it to good use. So, go to Mícheál.
Well, go to Mícheál at the reach.
Back in Connemara, Enda goes to meet Peggy from the Charman Éanna Centre, whose work with the elderly has made a big impression.
We haven't really been making the programme we said we're making it all.
Sorry?
We haven't been making the programme we said we were making it all. And there's something I'd like to give to you.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Enda.
It's great, isn't it?
Oh, come here. Oh, my goodness. This is absolutely fantastic. And we are so, so grateful to you. This is just amazing to have come at this time.
5,000 is the cost to finish the garden, so I'd love to see half of it go to that. I'd love to see the other half, or thereabouts, go towards helping you developing a professional fundraising function. And I have a lot of ideas I can discuss with you on that, if you like. It was more than money. She really appreciated the fact that we took the trouble to find out what they really do and to recognise and respect it.
Can I give you another hug? Oh. Oh, my goodness.
Really?
Oh, you're an angel. For us to be thought of in this manner, it's absolutely fantastic. Fantastic.
When Enda began this journey, his heart was set on finding projects that were striving to unlock the potential of young people, and Martin and Andy's work in Ballyban has inspired him.
I really admire what you're doing. I mean, it's extraordinary, you know, particularly you know, with the cutback in resources and everything, I haven't really been entirely truthful with what we're doing. We're not really making a program into the West. I've been going around looking to find projects that I can support. That's something I'd like to give to you.
Oh, wow. That's brilliant. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Something else I'd like to do as well.
All right.
Yeah. I'll give you a look at this, see what you think.
Oh.
It's worth, you know, quite a lot of money. Wow. It's really a trip of a lifetime. Basically, you guys, right, with a few selected trainees from the centre, will go to New Zealand. You'll spend 2 weeks. You'll go on the Spirit of New Zealand. She's a 45-metre youth training vessel. But also you'll spend some time in New Zealand looking at how they run their youth programs. You can go away, bring back the ideas, and they can learn from you as well. So it'll be an exchange, if you like. So I'm kind of quite excited by that. Yeah. It's a bit unusual.
Definitely.
I'm a bit lost for words, to be honest. I didn't expect it. It's going to be amazing for our kids. Definitely. They won't get this opportunity again.
This is more than money. It's the smarts, it's the intellectual software. And that's what you guys have.
Wow.
And that's what I found. And you've really taken me into your lives and what you're doing. And I really appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Immediately they were thinking about the young people, the 16, 17-year-olds they're going to take on the trip. But I kept coming back. It was for them. It was a thank you for them. It was a reward for them, but also an incentive. And I think that they get that, where they can learn. There's a whole exposure there. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. And if you change one life as a result of that, it's money very well spent. They're good people. They'll come back with ideas, and it's those ideas we want to harvest and bring them back to make our little island in the North Atlantic prosper. Okay, see you then. Good luck. Thank you. See you then. Take care. I'm really appreciative of the people I've met this week. I'm really fired up by what can be done. It's a drop in the ocean compared to the issues, but I hope that that drop in the ocean will cause a ripple, and that ripple roll out into a wave for each of the people involved. But I can't do that. I can only help it along. This will never leave me. It's been quite an emotional roller coaster. I'm normally not that emotional. I'll treasure this forever.
Well, there were bells and whistles, to say the least, as RTE's big music train began its journey this morning with great performances and gigs at various stops between Bray and Carlow. Check out all the details on rte.ie/Big Music Week. And coming up next, we have a short roundup on some of the action from earlier today.